The board was loosely designed as a seesaw and it's designed predominantly to stop the guard passing. But what happens is that it was also used to actively hunt triangles, arm bars, and omoplatas, depending on how my partner trains and does something. I'm just going to go Colin to start with, please. And what it is we're just going to have this nice loose from here. And what Colin's going to do is, Colin's going to push my leg down and he's going to start to pass the guard to this side. So it's out nice and wide. So as he passes, what I want to do from here is, go back 1 second, is as he's passing, I realise my frames aren't enough. So what I'm going to do is my leg over, recover, and bring my legs back in. So it's called Gogura. Now, the reason why this works so well is that my legs are stronger than my arms. So I put my frame in. And as it clears, my leg comes over, and kick. My leg comes under. So now, I know he's, as a general rule, going to come back around the guard the other way. So all I'm doing is, I have a base, which is here, and because his weight's generally on this, I don't get to recover that leg. But what I said to do is, they try and take the leg up and over. Because my hips are pinned, I don't get that. So it's generally that I try and bring my leg to this side, and I kick. See what's happened to his frame? So now I realise that he's going to come back to the opposite side. So I come under. I've got this ability to start to rescue. The reason why this works so well is that it's my legs attacking him, not my hands. So if my partner's like really, and he's passing really tight from here and I'm having trouble, okay, goes onto the shoulder. It allows me to kick off. So it's just a really nice clean way to get your legs into the game. And what I find is that when we're pushing with our hands, sometimes they're driving, my hand system isn't as strong as my leg system. So I'm always going to what we call the levers. So as this pressure, a lot, man, so it goes on top. It's on the major lever. Does that kind of make, and like I'm not very flexible, so everyone should be able to get this, but I've got my double frame. Does that make sense? So it's not here, double frame. So what I'm saying to you about the recovery is that it also gives me the option to start to slide, to attack the arms and things like that as well. So what we're going to do as a base, as an introduction to it, is Colin's just going to be on his knees and he's just going to slowly walk to his left a little bit, and I'm just going to go here, one, kick. He's now going to walk to his right a little bit, so I can put his hand over, bring it to his right, I bring my leg back over, and we're pretty much going to look for submissions, arm bars and triangles. So again, no, we're not, so it goes left, kick, boom. So now as it goes, I'll go right. Okay, I've got the options to bring my leg over to try and look for the submissions and things. So this would be the very start of it, just that leg's open, but we're trying to attack the shoulders with our legs, not the hips. So shoulders will keep the major lever backwards. Okay, 1, 2, 3. When I teach this to the kids, I teach this as what we call a snake bite arm bar, and I'm going to explain that you know, like if I said to the kids, go and do a guard arm bar, like I go snake bite arm bar, it's a code word they get, like, so I have little code words for the kids that they utilise, and also it means that the opposition won't kind of know what's going on. So for me, this is just, it's a no-brainer. Snake bite arm bar. I'm going to talk you through it. I'm just going to go Mikey in my guard first of all. Full guard. And the way this works is I'm going to go entry 1 and entry 2. Generally a 2-on-1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed, and my right hand's going to be the snake that does the bite. I'll explain. Raise my head forward with my right hand. So my right hand's fighting behind the tricep. It had two impacts. So I'm holding behind the tricep, so it's hard for me to pull the hand backwards, and my weight's down, so it's on my chest, so there's a friction point as well. If I just try to do this one hand's quite hard. So I raise my hand, I roll my hip, pull it over, 1. And I like to keep this doubled up. So there's weight going down and weight behind it. Number 2 is I fight the shoulder. So I've doubled out the system. Now, let me explain to you how this works. If my gut is stronger than me and realizes he's the armbar pulls out, I go straight to the collar. So, when I go to snake bite armbar, 1 and 2, while he's pulled over, I like to go thumb in. So at least I have contact. I find that is the weak mechanism, this is a stronger mechanism. Does that make sense? This is the part that when I first learned this changed my whole game. The most important part of the armbar isn't the leg that goes overhead, it's to stabilise the leg. Stabilise the leg. And when I got told this, it changed my whole armbar game and made me realise what I was doing wrong. Okay, so 2 on 1, roll the hip, snake bite, done. The first leg, the most important leg is this leg. Everyone tries to go that leg over. The downfall of that is I have no control over my partner. So what I'm doing from here is, when I'm in the leg up, I've locked the arm into position. So I'm trying to go on the far shoulder. Second is, because I've got this snake bite, I can push it into my leg and keep control. What I like to do now is this. If I release the pressure, it's going to pop back up. So I like to take my leg wider to make sure he falls into the armbar. Because if I try and lift that leg up over his head, I'm going against grain, I'm giving him space to move. So when I do this, I found that they actually fall into the armbar, yeah. So I go, so 1 slow motion, boom, shanker, pull the arm across, grip 1, grip 2. Now I'm trying to take my foot to the far shoulder. So I go, lay the foot, because this time past the guard, I've got the arm. Take my foot to the far shoulder and hold it. So now, let me explain. If I try and bring this leg around here, I'm taking my weight off my partner. But if I'm here, if I go step and push, this weight goes where? Now, because we've got a snake bite, the arm's already at extension. So slow motion is, if I just try and pull this arm over, if this is as strong as me or strong, I'm going to have a hard time. So I like to go raise, turn. So I kind of get it into the base, so I'm backing it up. But what I want to do is I want to go raise and turn, and I want to go snake bite. So it's over, I have a quick friction grip behind the tricep, and my weight's on it, I like to go thumb into here. I said, right now, if I use my left leg to come overhead, I'm going to get my guard pass, or at least I get it. So first thing I do is I take my right heel to his right shoulder. Take my right heel to his right shoulder. Okay, if I try and bring this leg around the head, so what I like to do from this, I like to go, I keep the pressure, I go 1 step and push. And his base is going to fall straight, like if you fall straight down back. You don't have a post as I have now. But when I kick it, I like to control your top heavy. And you might accidentally kick him in the face when you bring your leg over, but that's not my fault, it's not my face. Let's do 3. Coach, trying to make people understand about your hip placement and your hip movement on an arm bar. And this is kind of one of those things that once you get it, it makes the arm bar 100 times easier. If you don't get it, it becomes really difficult to pull off the arm bar in a live wrestle. Your hip placement. And it's because people think that the way they move their head is to create space, and they move the hips way too fast, so they'll lose the contact. I'll explain. I'm going to go slow, so Marco. And what I mean by that is, I'm gonna make this. I'm going to go slow motion. So I've got the arm. I've put the arm across from here, and I have the position from here. So what I simply is, I need my head to be over here to get the arm bar. So people kind of go, oh, your hip escape, and they come here. So the jump was, he stuck me up, and the leg that's most important is now caught under the frame system. So as I try to bring this leg up, even if he doesn't move, my leg and my hip's caught. So I'm actually allowing him to pin my hip to the ground, which is what he wants to, and I cut the arm bar. My legs are open, and he'll go into guard pass position. So this is the biggest thing, that when I first start to jump, everyone kind of goes, you know, like they get the arm into position, they go, I've got to get my head over here. So they go hip escape, and and they come here, and they're so far off centre that even if I do get the leg over, even if it doesn't do anything, I'm so far offside that even if I extend, I'm not going to get the arm. And it's a really common thing, and it's because of the motion. So what I like to do is I like to what I call a re-roll on my hips. I'm going to go slow, I'm going to try and explain it. I get the arm across the body, I'm here, so I flip my hips. So first thing I do is, once I'm here, is I go, I know you can't pass my guard to this side because I have the guard. I put my left foot down. What is I raise my hips, I put my hips to here. So I put my foot down, I raise my hips, and I drive. So that leg now has hit. So there's no weight onto my right hip at all. So instead of me trying to go like, and the chokes on as well. So instead of me trying to move my hips away to create space, I do the opposite. Is I drive my hips high, hence like we're recovering our guard, hips high, shove my hips under, I'm in a really good position now. Now the beautiful thing about this is that I've got really good control. If Michael drives into me, I have a frame system. If he tries to stand up, I have a frame system. The only thing I'm concerned of is him putting his weight onto this leg, but I just kind of go, I use it to swing. So it's that little, the same as that gargoyle shoving our hips under, it's exactly the same system, but we're doing it from the arm bar. I'll go give this one. Thank you. So once again, the issue that I had when I first started teaching was getting people to move, and everyone moved right, but not the right way. So I get the arm across the body. So what people are doing, they're going, I want to get my head over here, so I put their foot down and they're sliding here. So by default, hip hits my hip. Well, here it doesn't even have to hit my hip. But there's no way to get that leg up anymore. So everyone kind of goes, I can't move that leg, I'll throw this leg over. And this distance, so I go, he goes, oh, I think it's going to come now. Here comes the arm bar, oh, it's coming, boom. So I see that, or they'll pull the arm out. So the difference for me was, once I'm here and have the control, so then is two best ways. I put my foot down, raise my hips and come under. And it's such a, and then I've got the arm bar, if I want the arm bar, I've got to, my head's so far overbalanced, so for me, it's very hard for him to compensate again. So it's a strong one, hip raise number one, snake bite arm bar, grab it, okay, foot goes down, raise my hips, come underneath my partner, boom. And now the arm bar is a really easy arm bar to do. 1, 2, 3. When I change angles or CTA, cut the angle, CTA, why do I put my foot on the ground and not on their hip? You technically, I can kick off the hip to drive. Technically, I can. When I first started to do this, I used to put my foot onto the hip. And there's nothing wrong with it. But what I find at my level, when I started to go here and here, they know it's an arm bar. So the instant that I start to take my foot off the gun, they're going to stand up. So I go foot on hip, they stand up. And I go with them, so I now move that hard, push the driving on that side. So for me, anytime someone goes foot, I'm instant, like I'll jump up straight away. Whereas if I'm here, and I just take my foot, my foot down, they stand up. I'm so far underneath them that I'm going to use that momentum to run. Secondly, is this, and this was, I got taught by Hippie Machado to do it this way, but then Hippie Machado came and told me not to do it this way because of this. So same deal again, I hip bump, boom, turn my hips, snake bite on the arm bar, elbow comes nice up, so it goes pretty foot on me, and I've got a really nice squeeze. Like, there's nothing wrong with this at all. The downfall about it is when I first started to do this was as I started to swing my right leg up high, my left leg has to go open. And I found that would actually fall onto my left leg, and I couldn't get my left leg out to do the arm bar. So I end up getting this feel where I'm like, man, I've got the arm bar, I just can't complete it. Where I find if I put my leg and I push, they're falling into the valley, so my leg's a little bit wider to get the arm bar. And it's on the hip and I land on it, my leg's caught. So I take it that step back, she falls into the valley. And that was the most difficult, because like, that I got so good with the arm bar that it would fall on my leg. So I was like, hey man, like every time I do the arm bar, it goes, oh, you're a bit too good at the arm bar. So they're falling on your legs to take you off balance. And it was to do with hip thrust. So, and I know you've got it, I know. So 2 on 1, all part, form, got it from here. Now, all it is I keep everything super tight. I go foot out wide, raise my hips, so that the shin can't really drive into me. Drive it to my legs. So she's going to almost fall into the arm bar valley already. When my leg's under her, she's going to land on my legs. The beautiful thing about this position as well is that once I'm here is if I claim, the arm bar's on. Now, on saying that, there's option 2, which is to put on here. Yep, there's option 3. Yep, walk it up. But option 3 is a combination of both. Okay, so, boom, boom, boom. So what happens is my partner goes, it's an arm bar, it's actually drive their weight to stack me up. Yeah. So I'm like, man, this is the issue. And I haven't quite got the bite. So for me, my foot goes on the hip to actually keep the distance now. So if she tries to drive into me, I now have the distance. So that's that drive forward, my foot goes on the hip to maintain the distance. So it's not that it's wrong. So as a general guideline is, if I get the arm bar and they're not driving into me, my foot will go onto the ground. If I get the arm bar and they start to hammer down, my foot will go onto the hip. There's one other option, but we're going to do that next, which is the leg climb up, if they're kind of playing in no man's land. Yep, okay. So grab a new partner, we're going to go, so what I want you guys to do is, the person on your knees, like you're either driving forward or you're staying where you are. The person on your back, you've got to work out whether it's foot on the ground or foot on the hip. Is that cool? Just do it for 3. So just do it a couple of times each, and we'll swap over. 1, 2, 3. New partners. Okay, so just go back, pull inside my guard, and it's pretty easy. What we're going to find is that I'm going to start off with exactly the same motion, the 2 on 1. I don't open my legs, so I raise my hips, turn my hip off the angle, grab it, snake bite from here. Whether you put your foot down on the ground or whether you put your foot onto the hip is irrelevant. But so I go 1, the hardest part is this, is 2, like I'm under. From here. Push it another way, make sure there's contact on this arm bar. My partner is now going to pull his arm out, so I'll lose the arm bar. Does that make sense? Now, he's going to start to come around my guard this side. So what I'm going to do for this, I go foot on the ground and come through. Right? As he starts to pass the guard, my leg comes over, and I get a really deep, this is actually a deeper arm bar than the other arm bar. Plus my shins on it, so he can't stack out because now against my hamstrings. That's like it's such a deep arm bar. So this is the Gongora motion that we give the seesaw motion, but it started off with failed arm bar. So again, how's that? So good, hey? So close guard, get the habit of having your guard closed so you can actually jump up, pull it down, 1, 2 from here. I like to put my foot on the ground, you guys can drop it, it's really up to you guys. So shove my hips high, put him in the valley, arm bar. He pulls the arm out. Now think about this way, see, I'm just going to go like that. It's a real tussle motion. Here. So I go Gongora. I go here, I kick, and I bring my shin to my chest. He goes, I'll get the guard pass. And the arm bar is so tight. And because he's driving into me off the guard pass, He's the mechanic to stop the armbar to drive out. Because he's passing the guard, he's actually driving straight into the armbar. Like it? I get traffic. Like it? So, 2 on 1. Try to do this with your guard closed, guys. Try not to make sure your feet don't hit the ground. I go hip up number 1, pull the arm across from here, snake bite, pull him in. Hip up number 2, raise my hips, command arm, pop, arm bar. He pulls the arm out. So what I'm doing is, it's real subtle, but I can hold this. Okay, now, this side up. So here, as it comes on my guard, I bring my shin in. He's stuck out past the guard. The arm bar is a super tight arm bar. Even if he's past my guard, I'll still get this arm bar. Even if he's past my guard. And the arm bar is so tight, like a super tight arm bar. Right? Close guard, I'll go slow motion. The 2 on 1. Raise my hips and dip my hip. Raise my hips, dip my hip, pull it, snake bite arm bar, get the control. I like to make sure everything's super tight. Put my foot on the ground, raise my hips, turn it, put him into the balance. Comes over. Now I've got the arm bar, but he kind of wriggles like mad. So I get this. This is the hardest part about it, is I've got to turn my knee to my shoulder before he gets past the guard. So I create space. So run it in, he'll pass the guard. He doesn't sit, the arm's super tight. And the arm bar's on. Now I can kick. So for me, that Gongora system where we're kind of going that seesaw motion for guard recovery actually plays a really active role on armbar to armbar as well. Because again, that seesaw, that recovery motion going. Okay guys, let's have a shot. What you think? Alright, 20 minutes of technique.
Well, notice his legs aren't closed.
Okay. Oh, we're still filming.
I just videoed it, that's why I said do it again.
Alright. 20 minutes of technique.
Well, notice his legs aren't closed.
Watch it. Just go hammer. I'm going to go slow motion again. So, and she keeps the hip in. Yeah, so she's not like, now what you think, so she realises the arm muscle, she's put things on the hip, so she's heavy on the hip, if that makes sense. So I can't actually get my knee in front because she's closed the space down. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to actually drive my right leg low, I'm going to hold it, I'm going to keep my hips high. If you guys aren't into overpowers and she's got the hip turns, but we're going to do what we call a rollover. So I'm going to grab her leg from here, all I'm going to do is start to roll. So because she's attached to my hips, if I raise and turn my hips, she has to go with me. Does that make sense? So if I just grab Steve, I'm trying to go slow motion. So I arm bar, boom, pulls the arm out, and he hunkers down so that I can't get my shin in between. I mean, like I could push the face, I could get in between. But sometimes if he's really got to tight onto my hip, okay. So what I go do is I'm just going to hold over. Okay, I extend myself so I become a cylinder and roll. So, it's not that I don't have option, I can use them, but the more that they're attached to my hips and I have motion, the more that I can move with them. The more that they're attached to my hips and I'm locked into position, the harder it is for me to move. So this is why, for me, going back to the original is close guard, raise my hips, lift, pin, boom, raise my hips, come under, arm bar from me, pulls arm out. So what I'm going to do from here, think about this way, is I'm going to go hip bump, boom, and turn. So, and he might kind of go, oh, it's a trap. But once I've isolated that arm, the arm's mine. Anyway, like whether I go to the arm bar or not, his arm's fully isolated. You can do that stupid choke where you choke them from here as well. Sorry, taking that advice. But like you can do this choke as well. What if he drives into me, the choke comes on because he's driving into you. But if he starts to drive away from me, this is harder. So now, whereas here, I've got to go hip bump again and just take the arm. And now I'm back into arm bar position. So I can make this float, but it's my hips again that creates the distance. So if you ever find yourself like, if you're stuck and he's heavy on me, I sit up here trying to get that. But if I can get my hips up, I can actually start to set the momentum to get space. So sometimes pushing down, because if he's stuck me out, right? So if I can go hip bump, I can create space to get the legs over. So my hips, go to the key. Go, 1, 2, 3. Now,